Good evening. Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
Patriot Day, holiday observed in the United States on September 11th to commemorate the lives of those who died in the 2001 terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center in New York City and the Pentagon in Virginia, and those who perished when the hijacked United Airlines Flight 93 crashed in Pennsylvania. The holiday also recognizes those who died attempting to rescue people trapped by the attacks. September 11th attacks, also called 9/11 attacks, series of airline hijackings and suicide attacks committed in 2001, the deadliest terrorist attacks on American soil in U.S. history. The attacks against New York City and Washington, D.C., caused extensive death and destruction and triggered an enormous U.S. effort to combat terrorism. Some 2,750 people were killed in New York, 184 at the Pentagon, and 40 in Pennsylvania, where one of the hijacked planes crashed after the passengers attempted to retake the plane. All 19 terrorists died. Police and fire departments in New York were especially hard hit. Hundreds had rushed to the scene of the attacks, and more than 400 police officers and firefighters were killed. On September 11, 2001, groups of attackers boarded for domestic aircraft at 3 East Coast airports, and soon after takeoff they disabled the crews, some of whom may have been stabbed with box cutters the hijackers were secreting. The hijackers then took control of the aircraft, all large and bound for the West Coast with full loads of fuel. At 8:46 a.m. the first plane, American Airlines Flight 11, which had originated from Boston, was piloted into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. Most observers construed this initially to be an accident involving a small commuter plane. The second plane, United Airlines Flight 175, also from Boston, struck the South Tower 17 minutes later. At this point, there was no doubt that the United States was under attack. Each structure was badly damaged by the impact and erupted into flames. Office workers who were trapped above the points of impact in some cases leapt to their deaths rather than face the infernos now raging inside the towers. The third plane, American Airlines Flight 77, taking off from Dulles Airport near Washington, D.C., struck the southwest side of the Pentagon, just outside the city, at 9:37 a.m., touching off a fire in that section of the structure. Minutes later, the Federal Aviation Authority ordered a nationwide ground stop, and within the next hour, at 10:03 a.m., the fourth aircraft, United Airlines Flight 93 from Newark, New Jersey, crashed near Shanksville in the Pennsylvania countryside after its passengers, informed of events via cellular phone, attempted to overpower their assailants. At 9:59 a.m. the World Trade Center's heavily damaged South Tower collapsed, and the North Tower fell 29 minutes later. Clouds of smoke and debris quickly filled the streets of Lower Manhattan. Office workers and residents ran in panic as they tried to outpace the billowing debris clouds. A number of other buildings adjacent to the Twin Towers suffered serious damage, and several subsequently fell. Fires at the World Trade Center site smoldered for more than 3 months. Rescue operations began almost immediately as the country and the world sought to come to grips with the enormity of the losses. Nearly 3,000 people had perished, some 2,750 people in New York, 184 at the Pentagon, and 40 in Pennsylvania. All 19 terrorists also died. Included in the total in New York City were more than 400 police officers and firefighters, who had lost their lives after rushing to the scene and into the towers. By a joint resolution of the U.S. Congress on December 18, 2001, September 11th was designated as Patriot Day. The resolution calls for the President of the United States to issue a yearly proclamation requesting that all U.S. flags be flown at half-staff. Further, Americans are asked to honor the dead with a moment of silence beginning at 8:46 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the time that the first airplane struck the World Trade Center, and to respect the ceremonies of remembrance when they are conducted. Prior to passage of the resolution, several other names had been proposed for the day, such as the National Day of Remembrance and the National Day of Prayer and Remembrance. Visit our social media for more videos like this. Or visit our website www.celiacaie.com.